Yo, what's up? It's Yo Rumi, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how I got started angel investing and so far have invested in over 12 companies that have gone on to raise $110 million combined, literally, and this is within about a year and a half. Alright, so first off, there's a few different ways that you can get started investing, and that's simply having enough wealth that you can invest your own wealth, taking on capital from other people, or figuring out how can you be resourceful and contribute your time for equity. There's a bunch of different people that have successfully used these three different approaches in the past, but I'm going to share a little bit about how I stacked on my small wins in the past, built enough capital through these small wins myself, and then deployed this capital into other founders in the startup ecosystem and built this initial portfolio. Now that you know that this is my initial capital, and this is not millions of dollars also, I'm not gonna mention the exact figure, but this is not an immense amount of capital. This is simply an initial amount that I carved out and said, I wanna be involved on the other side of the table, not just as a maker, but also as an angel investor, and to participate in the potential upside that startups create for investors, and how I'm approaching that. This initial capital amount I've set aside, and it's taken me years to get to this point. Once I started to get to the point where I knew that I had this initial amount reserved and I would be able to start investing, I actually started studying ahead of time the most notable angel investors that I knew of. Some of those are Tim Ferriss, Sacca, Naval Ravikant, Gil Penchina, Paige Craig, and the like of others that really just are standout, extraordinary angel investors. There's also a few of these people have written books. I actually have these right here. So Jason Calacanis wrote a book called Angel. I could not recommend it highly enough. It's incredible. It basically lays out a blueprint, and one that I am actually following in using this to invest in startups on Angellist. Another one that I actually have right here, Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. He speaks about how he also got started angel investing. He's invested in some incredible companies. Amongst both of these two people in these books, you can definitely take their knowledge and experience and the blueprint that they lay, and you can put this to practice yourself, which is basically what I'm doing. Having said that, I've studied these people extensively, and I've really tried to deconstruct how they got started and what they're currently doing, and then also their mindset kind of going forward. I've done that, read their books, consumed all this content, everything that everyone's doing. You guys are probably watching this video trying to consume a lot yourself, but I really wanted to put it to practice. The best place that I found for me to do that, to get started with the capital amount that I have for angel investing, is actually Angellist. Both of these two people mention it in their books and talk about how you can leverage it. What I did, as soon as I knew that I had this initial amount to get started, I knew I was going to get started in angel investing and why. I knew the time period. I started to deconstruct these most notable investors. I actually found them on Angellist, and I basically tried to become as relevant to them as possible, build out my network on Angellist, leverage it as a platform, since it was where I was going to primarily be deploying my startup capital. And then what I did is I started to back these syndicates on Angellist. So I wanted to de-risk a lot of my investments while also gaining the maximum knowledge from these syndicate leads, which I would be co-investing with. So this is just an immense value add for me, not only as potentially financial in the future, but also for knowledge. So that's one of the big things and big reasons why I'm investing, not only for the financial gain, but also for the knowledge sharing and just the immense amount of learning that I could kind of get ahead of the curve faster by simply investing these small amounts. So I think about it almost in some sense like you can buy a ticket to a conference and try to meet these people and spend thousands of dollars. Why not simply take that same amount of capital, be an equity kind of holder in some of these incredible founders, companies, these like serial entrepreneurs that are really not accessible to most people, or also the co-investors, but just to gain as much as you can simply by leveraging these initial amounts of capital and the platforms they're on, which is Angellist. I will also mention Angellist is for accredited investors. There are also other platforms out there such as Republic, WeFunder, and I believe there's a few other ones out there. So if you're not an accredited investor, you can invest smaller amounts, even in the hundreds of dollars, on these other platforms, and that's what's considered as a retail investor. I primarily invest through Angellist. I've done, I think, 2 deals through, one through WeFunder and 1 through Republic. So I can make another video if you guys want to comment down here below. I can talk about those platforms later and how you can kind of equate that to Angellist and then also offline deals. But this video is going to be a little bit more about Angellist and how I got started and leveraged Angellist. The first deals I did on Angellist were, as you can imagine, simply seeing like the first deals come from these, notable, incredible investors. And I was like, wow, if there's other incredible co-investors and these people investing, I need to invest. So of course I did that. I clicked invest, and it kind of literally transferred my money into some of these deals, and I felt super excited. All right, I really wanted to understand why I was doing that, so I stopped doing that after the first. The first was kind of like my first commitment, and it was incredible. But really, after I did that first one, I really wanted to start to basically formulate some kind of decision making, because a lot of these people have decision making kind of pattern match as far as why they invest in people and whatnot. So I really needed to start to try to understand that as much as I could myself. So since then, it's been about a year, I would say, on Angellist. So I've backed 12 companies on Angellist. I can just mention some of them. Some of them are Burrow, Drive, Gone, Crew, Imparticle, Produce Pay, Public Goods, Rents, Service, the Picks and Shovels Company, Trusted, Vet Pronto, Zeotap, and a few others that I can't disclose yet that are in the final stages. So I have deployed or built up a small initial portfolio that I'm actually very proud about. And I got started in this kind of bootstrap, like maker mentality way of building this portfolio with my own capital, smaller denominations, and also learning an immense amount and backing some incredible and visionary founders and companies. So it is something I'm very proud about. Collectively, they've gone on to raise $110 million with this initial portfolio. And I'm also doing this all under ThinkBox, is the legal entity that I'm doing it under. So of course I'm making decisions, but I also run ThinkBox, which is a startup studio that I started. So this is going to be the initial portfolio that we're building as a startup studio. So we not only build our own companies, which sometimes start as side projects like Studio Time that I covered in my last video, but also we work with other companies and help them accelerate product and growth. And then this third kind of component of what we do is the investments. So this is me getting started, building the initial portfolio for ThinkBox in a bootstrap kind of maker mentality way, without raising a fund or without taking on outside capital. So it'll be interesting to come back to this video in about 5 to 10 years and see, did any of these companies pay off, and are these big wins? So we'll see, but definitely comment below, hit subscribe to this. Let me know what you want to hear about how to get started angel investing. This is not financial advice. We need to throw that big disclaimer out there. But you can get started yourself. You don't have to raise a big fund. You can leverage platforms such as Angellist, Republic, WeFunder, and others that are out there, and you can piggyback off and co-invest with other co-investors and build your network through that. And hopefully, there'll be some disproportional kind of outcomes and big financial gains from it in the future. But in the short term, the amount of learnings from the other side of the table is immense, and I would encourage you to at least look at it. And if you're in a position where you can do it, think about it. All right, thanks.